Hello everyone, today I will tell you how you can relieve pain from the trapezius muscle. Let's go. The upper portion of the trapezius muscle is often a source of headache and discomfort in the shoulder area. This happens because we spend a lot of time sitting at the computer and with mobile phones pushing our head forward. Because of this, we overload the muscle with static tension, even though it should actually be moving the head and shoulder. Practically all muscles that are supposed to move something but hold something instead very often accumulate trigger points. These are such diseased contractions that can later cause headaches and unpleasant tension in the entire region. They often recommend stretching the trapezius to remove the spasm and pain. But, as we discussed in previous issues, this gives a very temporary effect. And to get a more stable effect, you can perform completely different actions. First, you need to deactivate the trigger point. A trigger point is a pathological spasm in the muscle. And for it to function, energy is constantly being spent. This energy comes with the blood. In order to relax the spasm, you need to temporarily stop the blood flow to this area. That's why we need to press hard on the trigger zone and wait for relaxation in about 50 seconds. To find the trigger point well and press hard stably, it's better to use some kind of stick or a thumbtack. How to find trigger points on the trapezius and the technique of performing myopressure you can watch in our video about how to get rid of a headache in 5 minutes. After we have deactivated the trigger point, we need to perform an exercise on the trapezius. And here it's super important how we are going to load the muscle. If you're going to load the muscle with a large number of repetitions, for example 14, 20, 30 repetitions of medium strength, then the muscle, on the contrary, will increase tone and become even harder and more painful. If, however, you do very slow and very strong repetitions, then the muscle will become stronger, softer, and the pain will go away. Usually we perform 6 to 8 repetitions in 2 approaches 1 to 2 times a day. To choose correctly, you need either a set of dumbbells or a rubber expander. Now I will show an exercise with a rubber expander. The power on the stretch should be high enough. How to choose the power of the expander stretch? You should be struggling with the 6th exercise. If you easily do 8, 10, 15 repetitions, then the expander's tension is not enough. It can be adjusted, for example, by doubling it or crossing your hands below. But you need to increase the tension so that you struggle. Now stand on. Stand in the middle of the expander, straighten your elbows, look forward, keep your back straight and start lifting your shoulders up and very slowly down. When we go down, relax your shoulders and give yourself a little stretch up. Slowly hold for a second, slowly go down. Do 6, maximum 8 repetitions. If by the 6th, 7th repetition it's too hard for you, move down to increase the tension of the expander. On the 6th or 7th repetition, do half the amplitude of the shoulder lift and hold for 12 seconds. Relax. Perform 2 approaches with a break of 1.5 minutes. After this, you can feel your shoulders and notice that they have become not only softer but also less painful. Initially, when you still feel tension in the muscles, you can perform these exercises 2 to 3 times a day when you feel a spasm. Later, when the muscles are already stronger and more relaxed, you can switch to 2 to 3 times a week in maintenance mode. It may seem illogical that we are pumping a spasmed muscle, but in reality it is very logical. Because the muscle spasms in order to more easily perform its work when it does not have the strength to do so. And when the muscle is strong, it doesn't need to strain so much. Even Avicenna said that a weak muscle spasms. Therefore, when you give a strength workout to the muscles, in the end, they become relaxed and easily cope with their functions.